Good morning and welcome to the show, and thanks for waking up with us this morning. I have Reverend Randall Arias from Good Shepherd Lutheran Church out in Callaway, and Jeffrey Pick, who is not only a parishioner, but you're also a chairman of Operation Barnabas.
That's correct.
Jeffrey, what is Operation Barnabas?
Operation Barnabas is a Lutheran Church Missouri Synod initiative, and we have a local chapter here in Panama City. And what we primarily do is support those that are deploying and redeploying from the local bases and their families as well.
Reverend Arias, why are you doing this?
Well, our particular church body has one of its three main themes are works of mercy. And so that's something that just flows out of those who live a life in Christ. And so they are loved, so they cannot help but love. And we really see a great need for those who serve our military.
And you're so close to Tyndall Air Force Base.
Yes.
But Operation Barnabas is not going to be limited just to Tyndall. It's for all deploying service members, to include Navy base, right?
When it was, in 2007, when it was instituted, it was primarily for those serving in the reserves and to help chaplaincy. We have over 215 chaplains in the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod that are in our military. And in fact, I'm very glad our wing chaplain right now, Lieutenant Colonel Rosenthal, out at Tyndall Air Force Base, is leading the charge to help bring peace and joy to the people in the military right now.
Jeffrey, what exactly is Operation Barnabas going to do for the veterans who are returning from deployment?
We're going to provide a facility and folks like Pastor Arias and other folks to, for those returning from deployment and their families to come and just relax, read, watch TV, maybe play a game of pool, enjoy some fellowship, get some spiritual interaction and things such as that. Anything they need to help them unwind and help them transition back into life here at home with their families and in the community.
Reverend, is this going to happen right at the church, or do you have a separate facility, or how's all this going to be executed?
5610 Boat Race. We have a corner piece of property there on Boat Race and Tyndall Speedway. And
Tyndall Speedway.
Always. I think you've driven it many times, so you well know.
It says 98 on there. That is not the speed limit.
No. Yeah. And so that we're very easy to find. It is right on the corner, yellow building, 5610, and over the doorway it says Operation Barnabas. So the door is going to be open on to the public and to those in need on Thursday evenings. And
so the Tyndall population could just pop in or call or whatever. And I want to talk more about that, but we have to go to local weather first. And we'll be right back after your local weather, brought to you by the West Pittman Law Firm. westpittmanlawfirm.com. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with the Reverend Randall Arias. I get stuck on those ethnic names. Arias, very straightforward, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
And Jeffrey Pick. And we're talking about Operation Barnabas from Good Shepherd Lutheran Church out in Callaway. You know, Reverend, before the break, we were talking about the need for this type of thing. Is there a demonstrable need?
Well, we believe there is. We know there are many who, particularly among our veterans, those returning from the Middle East, the devastation of war, the psychological impact that it's had upon them, and not as much in our area where there is maybe good care, but there are so many of our military who are in the reserves and go back into their local communities that really don't always have the care and the touch point to be able to find somebody who can help them emotionally, spiritually, and that's a big part of our program, wanting to care for those who suffer.
And it seems like such a natural fit because of your location. It is right there by Tyndall Air Force Base. So I guess if a young airman or even an officer, wants to get out of that military environment, off the base, and I know the military does a good job of taking care of their people, but if they want an extra resource, just a place to chill, I mean, that sounds like the perfect place to go. If someone watching this now is in a situation where they might want to avail themselves of your services at Operation Barnabas, what do they need to do?
Well, again, like we had mentioned a little bit ago, on Thursday evenings, we're just going to have kind of an open door policy, but we're available 24/7. So if they would contact the church, 871-6311, we'll try to hook them up with any special needs they might have. This is also done with coordination of what we have, share ministry that many people in the community already know about. We have a very large food and clothing provision at share ministry, as well as we even help with utilities, other things too, on special needs circumstances. But we would like to be able to coordinate that with Operation Barnabas for any veterans that might really have special needs.
If I'm a veteran and I just don't want to call a walk-in, maybe I wanted to learn more about it before I come over, how can I learn more about Operation Barnabas?
Sure. You can go to the website at www.lcms.org, and that's Lutheran Church Missouri Synod, lcms.org. And there'll be some information there for Operation Barnabas.
Is this a synod-wide program, or is it just in your
parish?
No,
it's nationwide. It's been deployed by, we have a division of the Ministry of Armed Forces, and being so active in support of our military and our government, it has been a program that now has been deployed nationwide. So if they would go to the website and go under the resources icon and go down to Ministry to the Armed Forces, then they'll find a segment on Operation Barnabas under that.
Reverend Arias, Jeffrey Pick, thank you so much for doing what you're doing to help our veterans out, and good luck to you, and certainly consider this show a ready resource for Operation Barnabas. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks, Don.
And we'll be right back after your Mad Hatter Minute.
Hi, this is David Lovett, and this is your Mad Hatter Minute. Today we're going to talk about exhaust. There are three things in your vehicle that make your car go. You have fuel, you have fire, and you have air. Air comes into the motor, it has to leave, and it leaves through your exhaust. Your exhaust consists of several different components. The components we're going to talk about today is the catalytic converter. The catalytic converter is the device that was actually put into effect in 1975 by the federal government. It's a device that takes unburned gas and burns it off so you don't pollute the air and pollute the ozone. Carbon monoxide is reduced, nitrogen oxide is reduced, and all the noxious fumes are reduced. These little babies save the planet. The catalytic converter is made of a hardened shell, and on the inside of the catalytic converter we have honeycombs. The honeycombs on the inside of the converter are what actually burn off the excess gases. On the side of this particular catalytic converter, there's a port. That port is for an oxygen sensor. Some of our old school guys will tell you remove the catalytic converter. Well, let me tell you, as an exhaust professional, do not remove the catalytic converter. You're doing yourself a disservice, and you're going to harm your vehicle, and you're going to break the law. The oxygen sensor actually senses the unburned oxygen, and it sends signals back to the computer to tell what type of air-fuel ratio that gets mixed. If you remove the catalytic converter, you remove the oxygen sensor, and your car doesn't know what to do, and you actually have poor performance, and it's going to create a whole host of other problems. I'm David Lovett, and this has been your Mad Hatter Minute.
Welcome back to the show. I'm here with our financial advisor, Heather Noyes from Raymond James Financial. Welcome back to the show, Heather.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here because I'm bubbling with questions
today.
today.
Good.
You know, now we were talking about different investment options before the show, and I got a phone call from my niece, who for some reason thinks I'm a genius. I don't know why.
But she's probably right.
She's probably right. On some level, I guess I am, but an evil genius, but a genius no less. And she was asking me, she's about 25-ish, 26-ish, newlywed, baby, all that stuff. And she's like, how much should I invest? What type of IRA or what type of vehicle should I get? And my simple advice to her was 10% or at least contribute up to the match, whatever your employer is matching, at the very minimum. Did I give her good advice?
Absolutely. Very sound advice, in fact. I mean, you definitely don't want to leave money on the table that any employer is offering you. So whether the match is 2% or 6% or 10%, you want to be getting every bit of that you can get. For the purpose of saving in general, the rule of thumb is 10%, and you always increase it as you get pay raises. And ideally, when you retire, you should have enough money to maintain the same lifestyle that you had prior to retirement if you're always participating at least 10%. And I would say from an earlier, from a young age in your 20s. So
Now, we talked about the differences between traditional IRAs and Roths. What's the best option for a 20-something?
okay. And she probably has the same option to choose from in her 401k. They have a Roth 401k and a traditional 401k. And I would say at that age, unless she's really needing some tax deductions, but you mentioned she has a baby, so they have probably some child credits and some child care credits and things like that. So they may not need a tax deduction today or really seeking to reduce that taxable income. So I think a Roth is going to be a better option.
Because Roth
for
is
her.
post-tax
Right.
earnings that go in there. You're already taxed on it, so when you withdraw it, you're not taxed on it. Are there penalties for early withdrawals with Roth?
The Roth gives you a lot more flexibility, so I think it's ideal too for young families if maybe they haven't bought a home yet or they don't have enough that they're saving outside for education. The Roth allows you to take out what you've invested. So over the years, if they put in 20 grand, she can take out $20,000 with no tax consequences and no penalties.
So she can take out what she's invested, but can't take out the interest earned.
Right.
Okay.
She can take out the interest, but the interest, if she touches the interest portion, it's got to be to pay for education or for a first-time home purchase to avoid a penalty. Now, they'll pay taxes on interest, but there'll be no penalties.
Okay, so there's some strings attached to taking out that interest, but you could always take out your principal with no penalty.
Right. And then if you touched your interest rather for any other reason than what I mentioned, then there's a penalty and taxes. So.
I see. So if you're taking money out to buy a car, you're going to pay taxes, penalty,
Right.
all that stuff.
Unless you're just getting into your principal. So.
Oh, so yeah, that's true. So if you just take out your principal, what you've already contributed to that, you guys keeping up with this? you can take that money out for almost any reason, right? So if you wanted to buy a car or something, you could do that.
Right.
You needed a down payment for something. But the best advice is to leave it alone.
Of course.
Unless it's a worthy cause like education or first-time home. In my niece's case, they already own a home, so they're in pretty good shape. She could not take money out of that to buy a second home, could she?
No.
No.
Not without penalties and things. So. But you think about it, there are very few things that are tax-free, and that's the huge advantage to a Roth is that down the road, when you take that money out, everything comes out tax-free. So for retirement, she could have contributed maybe, this is just throwing some random number, 100 grand, and now it's worth 400,000. So now she's got 300,000 that she can take out that's tax-free. There's very few things the IRS will, money that you can make that comes out tax-free. It's that, there's a 529 and municipal bonds, and that's it.
And I guess my humble advice to her was contribute as much as you can stand.
Sure.
If your paying threshold for contributions is higher than 10%, maybe 15%, do it. Why not? Especially in your 20s. And
then when they get pay raises, that's a really good time to go ahead and increase it, and you don't feel it because you feel like you're getting a pay raise anyway. And
That's
part
true.
of it, so now you've increased your savings for retirement.
Well, that's sound advice. If someone wanted to learn more about IRAs, Roth versus traditional, what could they do?
They can just give me a call at my office at 785-9614.
Heather Noyes from Raymond James Financial. Always an interesting conversation. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
All right.
And we'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to the show. You know her as Vonda, the coupon queen. I know her as Vonda, my friend and shopping advisor. Vonda, welcome to the show. So good to see you.
Thanks, Don. It's good to see you too.
Here we are. It's Thanksgiving just around the corner, and there are bargains to be had.
There are bargains to be had. However, the viewers have to make sure that you read everything in fine print. One store right now has a sale on turkeys, 79 cents a pound, but there are restrictions. So there's one store that has the absolute best price for turkeys. That's Publix, 59 cents a pound.
Wow.
10-pound turkey for less than $6.
Wow. That is a value.
Yes.
What kind of restrictions would be on a sale?
One brand, only one brand that they will price match at 79 cents per pound, and they're not price matching any fresh turkeys. And there's also a limit, but of course that's in smaller print. So you have to make sure you read the whole ad.
So when you get a coupon or an ad, read the fine print because
Yes.
there's a lot of strings attached. But right now, Publix is the best deal in town for
Publix
your
is the
holiday
best.
turkey.
And typically, for as long as I've been here, I've been in Panama City for 6 years. Publix has always been the best place to buy turkeys.
Isn't that something?
It
Well,
is.
Well, there you go. And Publix has not paid us to say that.
No, they haven't. No.
I mean, this is just a good
Yeah.
deal is a good deal.
Exactly.
Now, for food things like canned items, and all that, if you're military or retired military, you have access to a commissary. Those prices are pretty hard to beat, aren't they? But they are beatable.
Oh, they are beatable.
And that's no slam against the
No
commissary.
slam against the commissary. And I'm a veteran, so definitely no
know.
slam against the commissary. But sometimes we have to change the way that we think. Dollar stores,
Right.
excellent place to buy canned vegetables and even dairy products. A lot of people need cheese for the holidays. So you have to start changing the way that you think. And then we have our drugstores. Dairy products are always cheaper, always year-round at our drugstores.
Isn't that something?
Nobody will beat the price of milk on drugstores.
I mean, you kind of turned me on to that. I got my little discount card for CVS
Yes.
and a couple other places, and you just don't connect a drugstore with food.
Exactly.
You go there for your prescription and maybe a few items,
Yes.
but you don't go there food shopping.
No, you
But
have to
probably
change.
should.
Exactly. You have to change the way that you think. Nobody's milk is cheaper, gallons of milk, nobody sells them cheaper than Walgreens and CVS. And a lot of people don't know that. The same with eggs. So you have to just change the way that you think a little bit.
Yeah, and dollar stores too.
Yes.
Yeah, you always think, oh, I'll get some junky items for whatever, for Halloween to give to
Right.
the kids, but there's food in there too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you have coupons can be used at all dollar stores.
Vonda, we have to run to a break, but I want to talk about Black Friday. I know
Okay.
that's right around the corner. It's going to
Yes.
be a big shopping day. Maybe you can give us a few tips on how to deal with that
Okay.
after these messages. Welcome back to the show. I am here with my friend Vonda Gaina, as you know, as Vonda the Coupon Queen. And Vonda, we were talking a lot about Black Friday during the break.
Yes.
And, there's a lot of excitement about Black
Yes,
Friday.
there
There's all
is.
these crazy sales going on there, and people are getting on lines and camping out and rushing
Yes.
into stores. Do we need to put ourselves through that?
Absolutely not.
Really?
No. Amazon.com and slickdeals.com. And to go a step further, before you order anything online, you need to go to Retail Me Not and type in the store that you're looking for. They have coupon codes.
Really?
Yes.
Retail Me Not.
Retail Me Not to look for coupon codes. So yeah, absolutely. We don't have to be a part of the madness. We can do everything online.
Wow. And I remember going through that experience.
Yes.
Years ago. I remember when GPSs were kind of new and they were running a big sale. Or when I was visiting, my sister for Thanksgiving, and me and my nephew stood online at Radio Shack in Vero Beach Mall at like 6 a.m. in the morning, and there was a line of people already looking to get a GPS, and it was like, what am I doing here? And by the time we
Yes.
got there, the one we wanted was sold out. I could have avoided all that pain.
You could. And I think customers don't realize Black Friday is not set up for us to save money. Black Friday is set up for the businesses to make money.
Right.
They're limited, good deals. They don't have mass quantities in the stores. So they're banking on the fact that everybody's not going to get the best items, but we will spend money on something else. Like I spent money on a pink vacuum cleaner last year just because it was a good
There's
deal.
a pink vacuum cleaner.
A pink vacuum cleaner. But no, I'll be
Yeah.
at home this year.
Now Walmart is doing something special on Black Friday, aren't they?
Yes. For the high dollar value items, they have implemented a very nice program. It ran so smoothly last year. I got an iPad mini for Preston. You go in, no lines, you get a ticket, and then at a specified time, and you have up to an hour after that, you just go. They gave me a wristband. You just go and show your wristband and get the item and go and check out.
And this is on
so
Black
smooth.
Friday? Or
This was on Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, okay.
But so the sale started on Thanksgiving evening, and it was very, very smooth versus all of the other deals, like the pink vacuum
So it's
cleaner.
almost like the old layaway plan that we used
Yeah,
to have
it is.
back in the day.
Yes.
Sort of like that. You
Sort of
reserve
like
the
that.
item and you
Yes.
show up and you buy it and they
Exactly.
hold it for you.
So I recommend that. But for anything else, online. Same savings, and it's going to get delivered straight to your house.
So you can go online or you can stand online, and the
Yes.
choice is up to you. You could work hard or work smart.
Smart, exactly.
And you just, all those resources. Now, what are some of those websites again we can go to?
Definitely Retail Me Not, always for coupon codes, and slickdeals.com and amazon.com.
And you can beat that craziness out there
Yes.
in the stores.
Yes.
No reason in the world. And a lot of people are kind of rebelling against keeping stores open on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But if you reserve an item, you get in, you get out.
Get out.
And people are getting hurt on Black Friday. You see
yes.
throngs of people
Yes.
rushing to get maybe one item that's on
Oh, yeah, they're
sale.
taking it seriously. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's crazy.
It is crazy.
So the smart and civilized way is to listen to Vonda the Coupon Queen.
That's right.
Vonda, thank you, my friend, for
Thanks
coming
for
back on the show.
having me.
Always a joy seeing you.
It is, Don.
And we'll see you next time.